Hey, what's going on, guys? I have a very interesting flashlight I want to review for you. This is something that I saw. I actually saw a similar type flashlight at an odd lot in Pennsylvania. An odd lot is like, yeah, I consider it like a big dollar store, but you know, just a bunch of random stuff and everything's super cheap, and it's a lot of odd stuff, I guess. But anyway, the one I saw there, and this was probably 2 years ago. No, maybe not 2 years ago, maybe about a year ago. Anyway, I was there. I saw basically it was a Baton style flashlight that had a taser in it, you know, and I'm like, whoa, what a crazy idea. And I kind of wanted it, but it was like 35 bucks at the time. And I picked it up and I was playing with it a little bit. It seemed super cheap, and I'm like, nah. I passed it up. So about 2 months ago or so, maybe a little bit longer, I saw this online. I saw this on tinydeal.com. It's the website. It's an overseas website. They have all kinds of stuff there. And they have a bunch of Baton flashlights. This one's not a taser. They do have a bunch of different taser versions. And they also have other ones that aren't so aggressive. One that just looks like a tapered baseball bat and all kinds of stuff. And the prices vary. This one's $27.09. Free shipping on pretty much everything on the site. But they do have a variety of ones, anywhere from like 20 to 35, depending on Baton, the style of it, whether you get the, taser or not, or whatever. So it piqued my interest, and I thought, you know what, I have to try it this time. I have to try it again. And it's time to review it. I've had it for 2 months now. Like I said, I have this actually attached to my bag, my go bag in the car. It's a flashlight, and we're gonna get into how it works as a flashlight. But the obvious advantage to this particular flashlight is it is a club. It is something to beat the crap out of someone with. Of course, we're referring to a defensive situation. You don't want to just randomly beat people up with your flashlight. That is not cool. But yeah, this is something that I think if you are a security guard, if you have a profession where you are not only allowed to carry a weapon of some kind to defend yourself or protect property, but encouraged to use that if need be, then this may be a very cool item for you to have, because it's literally a flashlight first. All right, the button, it's got a tail clicky. All right. And it's actually a decent flashlight. This has a lot of throw, and that is basically due to the really long reflector. This reflector goes down to about here. All right, that is a very long, it's a strange setup because it's so narrow, but it's a long skinny cone, and this has an incredible amount of throw. It's really interesting. I'm gonna do a video in the future, not in this review, but I'll do a video in the future, maybe some beam shots or stuff. The one thing I wanna do really is beat the crap out of something with this and see if the flashlight still works. All right, because I've used this flashlight, I've dropped it a few times, I've tapped it on things moderately, but I haven't really just beaten something with it. Now, I can make a very safe assumption that if you were to hit something with a pretty decent swing, that it would not continue to work as a flashlight. Now, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. I think that if you were to use this as a club, that's its biggest function here, is that it's a flashlight. Sure, it's a usable tool, but God forbid you ever need to use it, you shouldn't really be worried of, oh no, can it still work as a flashlight? No, that's the whole point here, is that if this is going to save your life or really get you out of a bad situation, who cares if the flashlight still works? You know what I mean? Same thing with the idea of using a mag light. You know, people use the mag light at least for years, and cops, I think, were even trained to do this. You're holding it in kind of a reverse position, holding the head with the body behind you, right? Not only is it a little bit more comfortable to hold it that way, but while you're flashing it on something, if something's going to attack you, whether it's a person or an animal, you literally just kind of throw your arm forward. You know, this is how you'd hold a mag light, like this, you know, and if something comes up at you, well, bam, you know, you smack it in the face, and you can use it as a club, an improvised weapon. This is more designed specifically for being used as a baton or, you know, a bat impact style weapon. So it's a really interesting concept. I do feel, and I'm going to test this out in the future, but I do feel if you were to hit something aggressively with this. If you're actually using this for defense, I don't think that the cheap innards of this would continue to work. In other words, you're not going to have a flashlight anymore. You're just going to have a club with some blood on it, probably, which is probably going to be, evidence in court anyway. So just keep that in mind. You can't go whacking. If you want to get this thing and test it out and hit trees and stuff, don't expect your flashlight to work after that. That's my point. But it's a cool concept. There's definitely some red flags that come up as far as legality issues. Be sure you can have this wherever you are. I think this is a fantastic flashlight to use if you're walking your dog at night. Especially, I'm in the woods, and I've talked about this many times, but I have a lot of large predatory animals around. And although if you don't bug the animals, they won't bug you, there's situations where, you can get into and you can be attacked by an animal. It's extremely, extremely rare. People aren't being attacked by bear and mountain lion here every single day. But occasionally you can get yourself into a position where you might have to. So something like this, I think, would excel if you're in a really sketchy area, and you're taking a walk at night. Ask yourself why you're in a sketchy area and you're walking around at night. But hey, if that's your thing and you don't have a gun, or you want something in addition to your gun or your knife or whatever, situation you're in, it's a really cool concept. It's one of those things. There's a lot of really cool weapons out there, and you have to ask yourself, what's the practical use for them? I mean, a lot of people are going to get this thing because it's just cool. That's it. It's really cool. I want one. Boom, done. Are you actually going to walk around at night with it? Are you actually going to have to use it on someone? Totally different subject. And that's not really in question here. It's just the point of this review isn't, how you're going to use it. It's, is it going to work, and how does it work? And what's my experience with it? Well, as a flashlight itself, just as a flashlight, it actually works pretty well. There's a couple modes on here. Like I said, you click it on. If you do like a half or momentary, it cycles through the 3 modes, okay? You basically have high, low, and then strobe. Now, if you go to the website says there's an SOS mode. That's just, I think, a confusion in a language barrier. It's not SOS. SOS is a very specific pattern of flashes. This is just strobe, okay? So the description is wrong on this particular item. SOS meaning you need help. I guess they figure strobe means that. No, it's completely different. So it has a strobe mode, a high, and a low. Okay, the high is 240 lumens, the low is 100 lumens, and the strobe, again, is going to go back up to that max 240. All right, this is completely, you're able to disassemble it completely. That's what I wanted to say. I'll take the cap off. You can see the battery source, and this is my favorite part of this particular light. I'm running this on one 18650, but huge bonus, because not a lot of you guys have that, it comes with this battery pack. In fact, that's what is inside of it when you get it. You don't get the batteries, but you do get the 3 AAA battery pack, all right? So we're gonna pop that in there, and then it's gonna work for you just as well as that 18650. I do find, however, that the output is a little bit brighter on the 18650, and the runtime is a hell of a lot longer. But you can see it runs on 3 AAA batteries. So you don't have to be this technical flashlight guru, and you got all these 18650s and different chargers and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people just want a flashlight that they can go to the store and buy batteries for. And when you get into some of the rechargeables and the lithiums and the CR123s and all that stuff, that's a whole different hobby within itself. Plus, it's not convenient. A lot of people, have to go online and buy batteries because you can't. It doesn't make sense to go into Home Depot or Lowe's and pay $6 for one CR123. If you're really in a pinch, you can do that. You can also find them at Walmart in the photo section, but you can get them online for $1 a piece. So to pay $5 or $6 each, that's it's ludicrous. And if you're going to be doing that all the time, you don't want to make it a habit of going into a store to buy them. You're going to way overpay. All right. But anyway, it's been working out great with this particular battery. This is Through Night's battery. Actually, I might even do a review on these batteries because I really like these. They have a little bit more capacity. They're 18650s. I've had good experience with them so far, so might do a little video on that. I do have a charger from them that I wanted to eventually review, and a couple other flashlight things here and there. But anyway, the biggest thing with this particular light is the fact that I can run it on 3 AAAs if I'm in a pinch. That is super cool. This little guard here, you can see, you know, it's got a handle, it's got a rubber over mold on here. It's very comfortable. It's a little tacky in a good way, okay? It's very easy to grip. You can squeeze down, it's comfortable. The rubber has some give to them, a little checker pattern on there, so it's really comfortable. This guard, if your hand was too big or something and it gets in the way, this guard is removable. Actually, I can show you that. If you really want to take it off, the cap comes off, then the handle comes off. The guard literally just slips off, and you can screw this back on if you wanted to. All right. I'll show you the business end here again. The website doesn't list what kind of LED this is running. Doesn't have a whole lot of details on here, but might be able to. Well, you know what an LED looks like. I don't need to show you that. But you can remove the head. Keep in mind, there's wiring. There's literally wiring that runs from the you know, the battery spot all the way up to the head. So this unscrews, but it's not really removable because you have the wiring here. Love the sound of that. Chinese technology right there. Threads need a little bit of something. All right, there we go. You can see that. So you can unscrew that, but you certainly don't want to remove it because it will no longer work. Those are soldered in to your LED. So why it's removable, I mean, I guess for repair, I don't know. Probably just for the simplicity of once it's put together, they need to assemble it. I don't think there's threads, and these threads suck. So, hang on. There we go. Okay. So, you're going to find yourself going, ooh, cool, this comes off. Be careful, because I almost pulled the wires out of mine. All right, as far as this head, it is very, very aggressive. You can see it. Obviously, there's metal sticking out everywhere. These corners aren't super sharp. The bottom ones are. These are relatively on the smooth side. The tip, though, this crenulated bezel, that's what they call it in the flashlight world. This thing is extremely sharp. Not only does it have very acute angles, and it's kind of beveled on the inside, almost like a blade, but it's roughly done. So it's very, very sharp. This would certainly put a hurting on anything that was in its path. It is aluminum construction, the whole thing. This one's 17 inches. They do have other models, like I said, that it's slightly in size. They're all about the same. Very easy to use switch. Obviously, you can see when you turn on and off, it cycles to the modes. It does not have a mode memory or anything like that. It's not super awesome as a flashlight, except for the fact that it does have a hell of a lot of throw. But yeah, it's an interesting piece. I don't always get stuff from you know, from overseas sites, but I have to say, occasionally, if I'm bored at night, like if I can't sleep or something, I get up, I'm doing a little bit of editing, doing some video stuff, and you know, there's a lot of times where my editing software is chewing up all the memory on my computer, so like I have to wait while I'm doing that, and I'll like hop on you know, Christina's tablet or something and look out on these sites, and I find all kinds of crazy stuff, and occasionally something hits me and I really, really want to try it, and this is one of those things. So that is the 17-inch Baton flashlight from Tiny Deal. I'm not sure, I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, I'm sure. I was gonna say I'm not sure where to get these other than that site, and then I was thinking I'm sure you could find this all over the internet in various forms and slight differences in shapes. If it's on one of those international websites, I'm pretty sure you can get it pretty much anywhere. But if you want this very specific one, you have to go to Tiny Deal for it. I'll provide a link directly to this one. I think on the bottom it scrolls. You'll see the other versions if you really want something different. But you know, shop around for the price. $27.09 wasn't bad for this. It's a novelty item. But it does work as a flashlight. I had no flickering, no problems at all. Like I said, I did drop this a couple times on accident, not on purpose, and I did kind of, you know, whack it against a tree a little bit. Nothing crazy, because honestly, I didn't want to break it before I did the review. But now that I'm doing the review and it's done, I'll do another video in the future, really just busting on this thing to see what it can take before it breaks. So stay tuned for that video. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care.